Good evening, pilots and mercs. Today we're going to have a look at Mechanical Frog's video, Why is Battletech Such a Great Game? And I do realize that I've been going basically from Mechanical Frog back to Tech Talks, but those are the only two channels I really know of that have Mechwarrior content. I think somebody in the comments might have mentioned another channel. But if you have any suggestions, please put them below. I'd love to be able to give attention to other channels. But anyways, let's go ahead, get our snacks, get our drinks, and let's roll the film. Alrighty, why is Battletech such a great game? A dark age has befallen mankind. Where the United Star League once reigned, 5 successor states now battle for control. The destruction of war has ravaged the once flourishing worlds and left them in ruins. The advancement of technology has not only ceased, but the machines and the equipment of the past cannot be produced by present-day worlds. The succession wars are fought over water, ancient machines, and spare part factories. Control of these elements will lead to a final victory and dominion over known space. Battletech, the study and implementation of battlefield technology. Battlemech, ranging in height from 7 to 17 meters and weighing 10 to 100 tons, they carry more firepower than a 20th century tank battalion. I mean, to be fair, they do cost about as much. I mean, even the awesome over here is sitting like almost 8 million C-bills. We're not doing that joke today. I almost fell straight into that. I'm so sorry. You're not getting that joke today. Mechwarrior, brave men and women who are 31st century knights piloting their mechs into the battlefield. Now you are the Mechwarrior, and the time has come for you to go into battle. I mean, shoot, I've been doing that for most of my life, so, I mean, I am definitely prepared for that. Let's go. Let's do it. In the 31st century, life is cheap, but battle mechs are not. Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, to be fair, the awesome is also like an assault class mech. But I mean, for several Urbies, you could get an awesome. So, I mean, it is one of those things where it's like, do you want multiple mechs or do you want just one gigantic mech? Keep in mind that I've had ranging reports from it being like the C-bill to US dollar translation. And again, technically, this is due to change as any currency falls and rises. C-bills are worth about 3 to 10 times what the US dollar is my understanding. So most of these battle mechs are quite honestly into the millions, almost. You could get close to billions of dollars for one of these. Like, even the humble Urban Mech is at least $2 to $10 million. So, not cheap, but can be effective.
My connection with Battletech dates back to the early 1990s. One afternoon, my older brother came home with a friend's copy of Dungeons and Dragons, and after a lengthy argument with our parents about how that was not appropriate, we ended up with a second edition box of Battletech instead.
This is why I never I this is why I never want to be a parent, cuz I hate when we go down different rabbit holes and about what's appropriate, what's not. And again, you're the one who has to teach them that because again, it's either that you do or society tries to step in and say what's appropriate or not. And it just ends up being such a tiring, tiring situation. And I know this is a completely different rabbit hole for a second, but I'd never want to have a child. It's too expensive. It's too taxing on the mental faculties. And I just don't want to deal with society's bullshit on what's appropriate, what's not. Because at the end of the day, everybody just has a different view on it. And then there are other more devious people who use the idea of that in order to further their own agendas. So, anywho, sorry about that tangent. It irks me.
I don't remember who ended up paying for it, but that's the story in all of its glory.
That
While
is
I would
cool.
normally
That
frown
is really
upon
cool.
participating in moral panics, in this case it turned out well, as my friends and I took to Battletech with a youthful vigor. Instead of spells and dragons, we fired PPCs and marched to war in 100-ton battle mechs. We spent
That is awesome. I really want to get my hands on a copy of this because it just looks so cool. I'm so sad about this mech here. I can't identify that. Is that... It kind of looks like it could be a dasher, but I'm not 100% sure.
countless hours and days poring over rules, toying with loadouts, making record sheets, and saving up whatever money we could find so that we could plan out what mechs to order next from the Ral Partha catalog. Once they arrived, we discovered the joy of trying to superglue metal together, then regluing that metal when a light breeze knocked them apart.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like some of those kits just don't stay together very well. And it's so cool to see some of these mechs in their original configuration, especially your Marauder over here, who looks like a chicken walker. I'm sorry, the older one just looks like a chicken, and it looks like something... I'm thinking robot chicken, but I don't know why. But he does look cool. I don't know, out of this lineup, I recognize you. You look like a Crusader. There's just so many of these that I look at, and again, this might be a little bit blurry on the picture. Is that Bushwhacker? It's either gonna be the Bushwhacker or it's gonna be fudge. I forget the other mech that's like very similar to it. If I find it later, I'll put it up on screen, but there was a different mech that looks much the same. It might be a crab. It's really hard to tell from this angle.
Our amateurish efforts were compounded by some fairly atrocious paint jobs with very thick paint. We digested the novels quickly, even the terrible one involving bird aliens.
What?
And even years later...
Wait, what? Oh, no. I still need to read. I still have a novel or two to read. I want to see. Okay, the only reason I haven't read it yet is because I can only find like the digital copy of it, or at least on Amazon, and I prefer paperbacks. It's not just, oh, digital rights and whatnot. It's more just the fact that I hate staring at a screen trying to read. It strains my eyes. I'm just like, it's a bad time, but this kind of looks goofy and I love it. I love how Battletech can have these weird, weird things and just kind of get away with it.
Many are still an enjoyable read. It was silly, and they were really some of my favorite moments of the early teen years. Battletech was more than just a game to us. It provided an entertainment where we could build trust, respect, and lifelong friendships. This video is intended to be a bit of a love letter for a game that has brought me so much joy over the years. As I enter my 40s, and with Battletech's 40th not far behind, I want to reflect a little bit on why the game has persisted in the hearts and minds of so many gamers. First published in 1984's Battle Droids, Battletech has been a beloved tabletop war game through many different versions, updates, legal troubles over mech designs, and even a video game series.
So the Mech version isn't that, it doesn't look like it's all that much different compared to at least some of the, at least according to this.
That has itself become a cherished brand. All of this was built upon a core game with solid mechanics, a good balance between skill and random chance.
You see, what's funny is, I don't know how this really ties into Mechwarrior, because I know Mechwarrior 2, for instance, had like aerotech or a little bit of aerotech in the game. I just never realized how integral it was to some of the mech combat.
And a setting which is inspiringly futuristic while also reminding us of humanity's persistent flaws.
There it is. This is what I love the most. Because if you find me playing Mechwarrior, it's going to be in Solaris, and this is where I feel at home. This right here, with Duncan Fisher just over the radio going, it's a Solaris match. It's Solaris time. Meanwhile, I'm over here in some Frankenstein build. I might need to go see if this is still available somewhere.
It seems that even in 3050, humans haven't figured out how to defeat petty greed, jealousy, or desire for power.
I don't think we'll ever change in that regard, but also, I hate that logo. Anywho.
Many Battletech fans cut their teeth on the base game, while others spent their time creating characters that lived in this rich world. Still others focused on city combat or grand battles in space. What all of these games share is a respect for both the galaxy in which the story is written and a desire to add to it in a substantive way. One of my favorite parts of being a fan of Battletech is meeting other fans. It is almost universally a positive experience, with people who are eager to not only share their passion for the game, but also share stories from battles once waged decades ago. Everyone seems to have a story about that severely damaged battle mech taking one last desperate shot at an opponent and catching a lucky headshot. As often as I hear,
You see, I enjoy Battletech and Mechwarrior. Admittedly, yes, I absolutely love making terrifying builds and proceeding to march them out into the battlefield, but even beyond that, Mechwarrior 3 kind of painted a picture of how terrifying this world is going up against clan battle mechs and really just even with terrifying builds that I would put together, just be absolutely mere seconds away from being absolutely shredded, but still having the wherewithal to be able to take down that opponent, to be able to have that honor on the battlefield. I don't know. It's just, that is something that no other setting has been able to give me. There's really been no other game that's really solidified the sheer terror, the fear that you have as a pilot, and being able to overcome that and be able to save your entire galaxy from an overwhelming threat. I'm not talking like, oh, that one battle saved your entire galaxy. It's more like the individual fights. No one is special, including you. Like, nobody is special on this battlefield. Nobody has main character syndrome. But that's kind of what makes it special. It's like, yes, Mechwarrior 3, you might be a pilot that has some skill. You could just as easily be as shredded as anybody else. And that's what I love about it. You're really crafting your own story in that regard. And I think even with some of the other games as well, you get that feeling. That's why I enjoy Battletech. At least the Mechwarrior side. I don't know how that translates. I mean, it basically translates into Battletech really well. But anywho.
I smile every time because in so many ways it reminds me of those same moments I was blessed to experience during my formative years. In an attempt to quantify or maybe just simplify the reasons why I personally find Battletech to be so awesome, I have assembled a little list here of the main reasons why I think Battletech is so great. The first one I've kind of referenced already is the game system itself. The solid mechanics of Battletech have made it a functional, enjoyable game for almost 40 years. You really cannot...
I know he's going off about that, and I really do enjoy that. I just saw this, and I just immediately thought of the meme. Catapult. If I fits, I sits directly on top of the Puma. Ah, such a beautiful picture.
Say that about very many other games. The next aspect of Battletech that I think really pulls the game and gives it some longevity is the lore itself. Between all of the political intrigue, the constant warfare, all the different factions, lots of...
Man, ain't nobody got time for politics. It's time for sea bills. It's time for them beautiful, beautiful sea bills. And those battles behind the joystick of your favorite mech. I mean, sure, we can leave the politics to the houses, okay? We're just here for that sweet, sweet cash. Which I'm pretty sure there's, like, some sort of Merc version. Yeah, I definitely need to get my hands on this at some point. I've heard some people say play the game, or, like, the video game of Battletech first, and then try to see if you can get your way into this. And I think that's pretty solid advice.
Of novels and fiction to back up the game itself, you have a very rich galaxy in which to play the game. So that's always been a powerful draw for myself and my friends. The next one is customization and theory crafting. And when I think back about all the fun times I had with Battletech, oftentimes it wasn't actually playing the game. Many afternoons were spent with friends just designing mechs. Hey, what if we put this gun on it? What if we put, that you have to sacrifice a little armor here and there. So all of that theory crafting that went into creating that Omni mech that was.
It's kind of funny because half of my streams, like even on the video game side, half my streams are just me in the mech lab doing this exact same thing. I'm kind of vindicated by the fact that I'm not the only one who does this. Because as somebody who started in like way over here in the Mechwarrior side of things, we do the exact same thing. We're sitting there just trying to figure out what engine goes with what weapon. For example, I had somebody in the comments of the UMG SE um, saying that I think they swapped out their engine for a 160 instead of a 180. That allowed them to have like an LX 10 and an ERPPC. I believe it was an ERPPC. Anyway, and a decent amount of speed as well. So again, that's just going to be another way for me to go, how can I upgrade and make a mech that is just absolutely terrifying? Oh, and don't worry. I'm going to make the RB fly. I'm going to make it fly. It's going to be terrible, but I will make it fly one of these days.
The perfect one, making sure it was hitting the right thing with the point system so you could carry it, bring that mech in and with something else you wanted to bring. All of that really created a depth of enjoyment that wasn't just actually rolling dice and marking damage. The next category is the community, and I kind of mentioned it before already, but that passion that Battletech fans have is like nothing I've seen in any other game ever. They genuinely care about this game, and they love to share it with others. And that means anybody who wants to know more about Battletech. So that's really a.
This has been absolutely true. And as somebody who's been in the Mechwarrior games and then like slowly kind of delve towards Battletech, at least with some of the reaction videos, it has been amazing just how detailed some of the comments have been. And I want to point out, I'm reading every single comment. I might not necessarily respond, but I do see and read every single comment y'all put down there, which is why I usually just heart it, because even if I can't respond to it necessarily, because I'm still trying to process every single bit of information, please do understand that I really have appreciated the fact that this community has been so welcoming to me. And I just hope that one day that we can spread this hobby even further, because I absolutely love the fact that we can just hop in a mech and just the sheer community that this game has is insane. And I really do appreciate it. I can only hope that one day I can spread this hobby even further outside of just the main community. I might still might want to brush up on some of my mechs though, because I've been periodically like messing up some of the mechs from the earlier more, more classic. Again, I call them classic silhouettes because in terms of mechware, at least the games, the mechs that you see here in Battletech would be considered the classic designs by Mechwarrior. So you have 1 through 4 and all of its like shoot off games that are classic, and then Mechwarrior Online Forward, which had the newer designs. So when I refer to it like that, that's why I say that. But yeah,
an amazing thing, and that kind of positivity, it's infectious, and I love to see it. So I've been to conventions before where Catalyst has set up stores, and just people are there so friendly, so willing to share, and they want you to love Battletech as much as they love Battletech, and that is just amazing. All right, the very last category I want to hit here is the mechs. And when I asked this question on Twitter, why people like Battletech, this was a very common response, that we just love the mechs. Big stompy robots. Who doesn't love big stompy robots? So you knew this was going to be one, probably deep down in your heart if you're a Battletech fan as well, the mechs.
oh yes, this was definitely coming. Again, my favorite would probably be the Bushwhacker, just because of the fact that you can basically field almost anything on it. But let's see what else he's
draw you to it. The great designs that we've seen over years. There's some of these mech designs are instantly identifiable by fans. You can name them decades later because they.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. This is technically the Behemoth, or the Behemoth, technically Mark II. Stone Rhino. This is the Hunchback. I see. I'm gonna say this one's running the Ultra Cannon. I want to say he's running like 2 Ultra Cannon. I would say Ultra Cannon 5s, but it doesn't really have the barrels like these, so maybe it could be. You know what? No, I think he's running SRMs. Yeah, because it looks like he has 6 vents there. He could be running SRM 6s, which would be odd, but maybe it's a brawler configuration and then 2 lasers in the chest. I'm not entirely sure. This one looks like a Cougar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's a Cougar. A little bit smaller of a mech. I think the Cougar looks all right as far as like design goes. And then this one, oh boy. I want to say it's a. No, that's not a Warhammer. That's a Thanatos. Although the legs aren't too far back. Oh boy. I don't know. This could be a Thanatos. But I might be wrong on that one. Ooh, the comments are going to be interesting because this one could be a Thanatos. I don't know. That one I'm a little sketchy
Just been
on.
so ingrained in you as a fan. You know what that Locust looks like at a glance. You can spot that archer. You can look at that Warhammer 2C. Yep, that's it. Artists like the late great.
And yes, I realize it's pronounced 2C. I think the first couple of times I pronounced it IIC. And then kind of like the Goose Cannon, I just went, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I might as well make it funny. And then just kind of went with it from there. But I do want to point out that I'm doing it as a joke, not necessarily a joke towards me, essentially. I have a hard time pronouncing stuff, and then instead of I used to self-depreciate with jokes and whatnot against myself. Now I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna mess stuff up. I understand this is the way you pronounce it now. I make sure I can pronounce it, and then I'm like, okay, can we make a joke out of this? Especially with the Gauss rifle. And again, I say it weird. Regardless, I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna call it a goose cannon. Now it's become very much a joke in the community. But anyways, before this ends up being, half an
Jim
hour,
Holloway created
let's move
iconic pieces
let's
of
move
art
on.
that set the stage for countless campaigns and adventures. So looking back at all of those source
Love that
books
shadow
that
hat.
had that really cool art in them, that even if it was just black and white line art in most of the technical manuals, still it really did add a richness to the IP. So that's my main list here.
What in the hell happened to this Irby? He looks like he looks like he's been hitting leg day. I'm not sure what happened to you, but I want to scoop him up and take care of him.
And I'm going to wrap this up, but as my oldest now is at the age when I first played the game, my son's just getting there, I've had an opportunity to kind of take some moments to reflect on how it's impacted my life in a positive way, and I really do plan to hopefully pass on that love for Battletech to the next generation, because I want this to continue. I don't want this to end with those Gen Xers who grew up playing the game, because it really is an amazing IP, and we would all do well to pass it on to the next generation.
Like the paint on these looks so good. Just the way that kind of fades between these two, the bottom half and the top half, that is really well done.
So to wrap this up before it becomes the great American novel, Battletech has seen a strong resurgence in the past few years, thanks to the effort of both the companies producing content, and companies like Catalyst, for the game, as well as the players who passionately support that content. And that really is important, that you have both sides of those, because you could have a very passionate company that wants to produce a great product, but if the customers aren't there buying the products or actually care about the game, then you're going to have trouble. So Battletech is blessed to have that strong community and also some very strong content producers. I'm so happy to see Catalyst really take Battletech and let it grow and work hard to support it and make it grow. So there seems to be a really high level of respect and appreciation for the community, and I hope that will continue to serve the Battletech IP well into the future. So thank you to all the Battletech fans out there who are so positive, so constructive, and willing to share your passion with others. Now get out there, Mechwarrior. Life is cheap, but battle mechs aren't.
Yeah, they are definitely not cheap. This was really well done, by the way. I really want to get into mech tech at some point, or like the actual tabletop itself. I don't know. Maybe we could do like a hand cam at some point. That's going to be like way in the future, but I would love to do like actual, like full on battles, and maybe like live stream or something. I don't know. It would be a lot of fun either way. Hey, there it is. There's Mechwarrior Online. So cool. This is basically what my HOTAS setup looks like, more or less. One of these days, one of the comments I got was like they hoped I got a like full up like mech cockpit simulator. I'm just like, I would love one of those. I don't know how I would set it up, but like that would be so cool to have, and just be able to like, it would be so cool to be able to take on every single clanner from inside a cockpit like that. I don't even know which Mechwarrior game I would do it for. Probably Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries, but it would be a lot of fun regardless. Maybe we should even have a look at some of those technical readouts. And yeah, this was the first time I'd heard of the crossbow. We'll get to it at some point when I'm more comfortable taking on videos that aren't 10 minutes, because this one's probably going to end up being like 25. But this was a great video. I'm definitely looking forward to playing like Mech or like the Battletech, especially with like roguelike installed. That would be a lot of fun. But if you want to have a look at the original video or support Mechanical Frog directly, go ahead and hit the link in the description or in the cards. Other than that, this has been Call Sign Annika, signing out.